what business impact have you seen since working together?
We're taking the right actions. I mean, we weren't even standing at the plate, so to speak, to swing it. And we didn't know that definitely can't swing if you're not at the plate. So we've submitted a couple, was it 2 or 3 bids already? And it's that old thing of I keep using sports metaphors. Well, there'll certainly be more things to shoot at, so to speak, or swing at. But yeah, and I think it's probably helped us as a company develops or maybe rekindle. I wasn't here when that other person was helping us, but in terms of having somebody who's supposed to work on it. So anyway, I think to your question, I think our business has probably the muscles of our organization have gotten a little stronger in that area. But yeah, good questions. It's always good to, try to reflect and grow. I don't totally agree with this, but I think it was one of those old Greek philosophers that says the unexamined life is not worth living. And unexamined life is at least one that's unlikely to improve. So.
And if there's ever anything that you think that I could be doing, you always gotta let me know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I think, like I said, we're getting smarter at it. And hey, the good news too is we've had, was it North Carolina, New Jersey, Florida? I mean, we've had 4 or 5. Again, those are on the state side, but we've had about 5 or 6 states. We've at least engaged with or aware. I think some of the more populous ones like Florida and Texas, which that reminds me. But anyhow, I feel like I think I told you this a couple times ago. I'm a believer in leading indicators. You do the things that are required, but they're at least necessary. And I'm a believer in taking those, doing what you can there, getting better at that. And because you can't influence. The other thing I would say too, I forgot, I mentioned this one other time, is when you talk to especially if you're building a relationship with some of the buyer, is if they won't necessarily tell you if the person that won it by using imports, but one way to kind of suss that out is to ask them, does it have to be domestic? Because if they say no, and you have to be very clear about, if they might, when they hear domestic, they might think, oh, it's somebody in the United States selling it to me. That's not what we mean. We mean, does the product have to be entirely manufactured in the United States? Because if they tell you no, I promise you the other people, and this would pretty much just be for state stuff, I would promise you that anybody that's winning that business is using imported goods. Because a lot of the states, unlike the Berry Amendment for the feds, most of them don't have any requirement, or at least it's not specified. So that's just a headwind that we would face. And if it was a really big program, we would import the goods. If we could win it, we'd import the goods ourselves, but it has to be pretty big for us to do that. So.